Welcome to 6 Space VMS T Initiation and Exposure classes. Today we are entering second phase, phase 2. In this phase, the focus is going to be upon 6 space content flow along Sthapatya miring rod. In phase 1, our focus has been upon 6 space format. Let us make a note in our 6 space VMST course notebook that today we are initiating our exposure of 6 space content flow. The previous phase has been a focus upon 6 space format. The focus of the previous phase was the wisdom preserved in Pratham, Dvitiya and Tritiya Ansh of Vishnu Puran. Today our focus is going to be upon Sthapatya miring rod. Today we are making an introductory lesson. In this introductory lesson, the chase is going to be of initiation for exposure to the values and features of 6 space miring rod, Sthapatya miring rod, and as to how the Vedic systems are organizing themselves. Therefore, for 6 space content flow today, as introductory initiation and exposure, we are focusing upon Vedic systems, Vedic way of approaching, the way Vedic systems are manifesting themselves, the way Vedic system is to be approached, how we can be face to face with, and how we can be parallel to the Vedic systems. We want to be parallel to the Vedic systems with a urge to have comprehension and to acquire an insight and to attain an enlightenment about the 6 space content flow along Sthapatya miring rod. Maharishi Vedvyas has organized Vedic knowledge as 4 Vedas. These 4 Vedas are Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samveda and Atharveda. Rig Veda is having TC value, this formulation, the first formulation, Rig Veda as a formulation is leading us to TCV value 25. The second formulation, Yajurveda, is giving us a TCV value 31. Third formulation, Samveda, is giving us TCV value 35. Fourth formulation, Atharveda, is giving us value 37. It leads to the summation value 128. We know 128 is equal to 2 raised to power 7. Further, we know it is equal to 2 raised to power 6 plus 2 raised to power 6. As such, we see that these formulations, Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samveda and Atharveda, are leading us to value 128, which accepts an organization 2 raised to power 6 into 2 raised to power 6. That means there is going to be 2 space, means a dimension of 6 space. Therefore, it is going to be a reach upon the second element of water. Therefore, it is on this where the Lord Vishnu is giving us a bestowing values. The self-referral values are bestowed upon human mind by having the existence as manifestation of Lord Vishnu along the Sheshnag Shayya in the water, and it is this way we are seeing that we are accepting a diamondite format or a special order for this formulation. Let us further have a pause here and take note that the value Yajurved is the formulation Yajurved is accepting RAF of value 2, while we know the RAF is having a value 3. Therefore, this will take us from value 31 to 32. Likewise, Atharved as well is accepting value 2 for the RAF, while the value actually is going to be 3, and as such here we reach at 38 and it gives us a value 130. Therefore, from 126 to 128 to 130 are the inherently values embedded in these formulations. Now see that we have a 4 space, a creator's space, hypercube 4. Within hypercube 4, 12-edged cube, 3 space body with 12 edges accepts a degree of freedom of motion, and therefore along this degree of freedom motion, 12-edged cube manifests a 13th edge. Further, we know that 5 space is playing the role of origin of a 4 space. Still further, we know that 5 space is accepting a creative boundary of 10 components, means a raised to power 5 is equal to 10 b raised to power 4. Here is going to be a transcendental cavity. It is this transcendental cavity at the origin of the creator's space, 4 space, which is coming into play. Now the 13th edge, the additional edge manifested by 3 space body within 4 space, as such takes us to our coordinates with the origin. Now origin we know is having a creative boundary of 10 components. It is this creative boundary of 10 components would mean that here the transcendental origin, the transcendental cavity around the origin of the creator's space as such is having a creative boundary of 10 components, and as such it takes us to the value 13 into 10 is equal to 130. A very beautiful reach. This value 130 as such is the value which is providing us a format, Vedic format, that we are now within a creator's space along the creative boundary of the transcendental cavity around the origin, and this creative boundary of the transcendental cavity at the seat of the origin is being fixed, being coordinated. It is this fixation of the creative boundary of the transcendental domain as transcendental cavity within creator's space which is the manifested value of these formulations, and it is taking us to it. Now let us see that these values 128 and 130 as such are having a gap value of 129. It is this gap value which is being filled. Firstly, we are manifesting a cube, a 3 space body, and this 3 space body is availing a manifested 13th edge which stands coordinated with the 5 space body. Therefore, if here we are at a 3 space body and if here we are at a 5 space body, then in between it is this value 129 which is the value of the creator's space. It is a value of the fixation of the 4 space as a domain. Therefore, hypercube 4 is the representative regular body. Now see, hypercube 4 is having a formulation a raised to power 4 is to 8 b raised to power 3. Hypercube 4 is having a solid boundary, and this solid boundary is of 8 components. Now these 8 components as such are the range of values. We know that 4 space is having 9 geometries range. Further we know that cube is having 9 points fixation. It is this 9 points fixation means the ninth point or the ninth point is the origin and which is the seat of a 4 space. Therefore this setup as such is this setup which is having a fixation, and further we know that 2 space is playing the role of a dimension, a spatial dimension of a 4 space. Further we know that this spatial dimension is having a pair of axes. Further we know that within a surface we can have a linear progression as well as the surface. So line and surface both are simultaneously manifesting. However, if we are chasing this surface within a surface, it is this feature which deserves to be comprehended well. We shall make a note in our notebook about this particular feature. It is this reach of the Vedic systems which deserves to be comprehended well. We shall make a specific note that we are reaching at a surface within a surface. It is this surface within a surface is the phenomenon which we know which 2 into 2 will be creating a 4 space. We know synthesis value of pair of dimensions is going to be 4. Further we know that Lord Brahma is the overlord, and we know Brahma is the formulation which has TC value 29. Further we know that hypercube 4 itself is nothing but a 4-fold manifestation layer of summation value 14, and hypercube 14 is leading us to value 29. Therefore this is sequentially, gently, step by step is taking us to a reach that within hypercube 4 is happening a phenomenon that Lord Brahma, a 4-head Lord, is the presiding deity, and it is of value 29. Therefore, when we are now reaching the solid boundary, then we have seen already that we had a reach for line and linear and spatial both. However, our focus surface within 4 surface has been upon spatial order, and as such the value first is 1, it is ek, and it is 8. Now we know Dve 2 is value 16, and this we know 16 is equal to 8 plus 8. Further we know 2 is equal to 1 plus 1. As such, when we are in a surface within a surface, that means here we will be starting with the value 9 and we will be reaching up till value 16. One shall have a pause here, one shall sit comfortably, one shall imbibe these values. This reach of the Vedic systems organization deserves to be reached. One shall face it, one shall comprehend it, one shall imbibe it, one shall acquire an enlightenment of this phenomenon. Now this phenomenon of these values as such is taking us to the Yama Varna. We know that the Devanagari alphabet is having 1 to 9 vowels. Then there are Varga consonants of 5 cross 5 format. Then we are having Anthastha quadruple letters and Vishnu letters. And finally we are having 8 Yama letters. Now these 8 Yama letters are the letters which are this solid boundary of 8 components, where the seat of each of the boundary component is a creator's space. So it is a creator's space within a creator's space. It is a spatial dimension within a spatial dimension. It is vestige semesti. Now it is this vestige semesti feature which is taking us to the Yama letters, and therefore these are the values 9, 10, 11, 12, then 13, 14, 15 and 16, and summation value is 100. Let us have a pause and see that this solid boundary as such in this setup is providing us a value 100, while the Lord Brahma is providing us value 29. So it takes us to value 129. It is very blissful stage. It is a very blissful reach. It is a very blissful comprehension, and one shall sit comfortably. One shall permit the transcending mind to be through all these features, and with these features, and when we reach up till the Yama Varans, and this will help us also appreciate why the Vedic code is not accepting, not associating any value to it, as it is already available. This format is available, and we also know the synthesis value of the spatial dimension within spatial dimensions means 2, and 2 leading us to value 4. Therefore, as far as the vowels are concerned, the dimensional frames are concerned, that are also available. As far as the Yama Varans are concerned, this also is available. That is why the Vedic code is concentrating upon only the Varga consonants, Anthastha letters and the Ushmana letters. This makes total as 33 letters. Out of these as well, we know that only 31 are associated values, and 31 we know is the value of the synthesis value of the transcendence of the linear order. Therefore, it is the transcendence of the linear order which is going to be the basis, and the Vedic code value is be availing this transcendence synthesis. Though this transcendence synthesis as such becomes the basic feature, basic format, and this transcendence synthesis amounts to that when we are along a Sthapatya miring rod of value 1 to 6, then over it we know the transcendence range, and this is 2 to 6 second transcendence range. As such, it is the synthesis phenomenon of the transcendence ranges which make the transcendental carriers. Therefore, the Vedas, the Vedic knowledge of the Samhitas, is the knowledge of the transcendental flow, the flow of the transcendental content as transcendental carrier, as synthesis of a pair of transcendence ranges of the same order, and it is this which is going to be along the Sthapatya miring rod. Now, Sthapatya miring rod, as such we know, is the rod which swaps the 6-space domain. So this swapping of the 6-space domain is the reach of the Sthapatya miring rod. And then further we know that it is having a transcendental flow which takes up till 5, and further we know 6 spaces play the role of a 5 space. A very, very delicate way of sequential reach of the Vedic systems for the sequential flow of a 6-space content. This way, sadhakas shall sit comfortably. They shall permit the transcending mind to be face to face with, to be parallel with this phenomenon, this organization, these formulations of a Rig Ved, Yajurved, Samved and Atharved, and how this phenomenon is ultimately taking us to that all the base for the Vedic code values is being worked out inherently here. Now let us go a step ahead. Let us see that we are having, Rig Ved is having 21 branches, and we know value 21 is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. This also we know is a form value of a pool. This also we know is the value which way of the east and where is the placement of a Surya. Therefore, the 21 branches of a Rig Veda are the branches sequential reach along Sthapatya miring rod, and it is this reach of 21 steps will become the 21 branches of a Rig Veda. Step ahead, we know there is a Yajurved, and Yajurved we see is the value 31, and we know 31 is the synthesis value of pair of transcendence ranges of a linear order. Therefore, the Yajurved will be taking us to value 31. However, Yajurved has 101 branches. Now let us see the Vedic systems, Vedas, Vedic knowledge, Vedic mathematics, Vedic sciences, Vedic technologies, or the technologies which are chasing our existence phenomenon of a solar universe. Now this solar universe phenomenon is the phenomenon which is being chased up till the origin of a sixth space, and we know seventh space is playing the role of origin of a sixth space. Therefore, the Rig Veda is, when transited to a Yajurved, then we reach at a 101 branches, and for it we know it is to be the chase of the solar universe in 7 steps, and this chase in 7 steps of the solar universe by Vedic system is done as Panch Mahabhut, 5 basic elements reaching to the sun, and it is then reaching to the pole star, the origin of the Surya, the sun, origin of a sixth space, origin of our solar universe. Now let us make a tabulation of these 7 formulations. The formulation Prithvi, the first element, is leading us to value 25. Value Apa, the second element, is taking us to value 8. Third value Tej, it is the value which is within the Agni, the third element. It gives us value 15, Vayu gives us value 13, Akash gives us value 8, Surya is 13, and Dhruv is 19, and it takes us to 101. Make a note, make a specific note as to the Yajurved as an organization of 101 branches is parallel to the chase of the solar universe along Sthapatya miring rod to have a reach up till the origin of sixth space. Means we have to reach up till the pole star, a Dhruv. Therefore, this 7 steps long chase is the chase of value 101, and it is parallel to the value of the 101 branches of a Yajurved. Let us go a step ahead. Now, Samved means we have reached from east a Purv, a placement of a Surya of value 21 equal to the branches of Rig Veda. From here we are moving ahead to the origin of sun, means we are reaching at 7th space. It is a placement of a Dhruv, and this Dhruv is of value 19, and therefore a reach from Prithvi, first element. So from this earth as the first element, and it's a reach up till Dhruv. Now it is this reach which is going to be of 101 steps, with the fact to be seen that the Agni, the third element of value 14, is taking to its origin as value 15. Means if we are within hypercube 4, here we know that this cube will acquire an additional edge 13. However, we know here is a spatial dimension, as such it will lead to the value 14, and this is connecting us with the origin here of means the transcendental origin, which is of a solid order, and it is of value 15. It is this feature that 13 is equal to Prakash, a light, and then it is 14 is Agni, and 15 is a Tej. It is this way, this Yajur, this Yajna, this sadhana is the sadhana which will be taking us from Agni to its origin, which means to a Tej. It is this feature which deserves to be comprehended well. Therefore, we are reaching sequentially, having a chase, and then when we have reached up till the pole star, so from Pur, east, replacement of a Surya, we are reaching up till Dhruv, a pole star, the origin of sixth space, and then beyond that is Anant, never-ending nature. The Anant is of value 23, and it is equal to the value Sahastra, which also has value 23, and therefore we have reached at value 1000, and blissfully the Samved is having 1000 branches. Samved is having 1000 branches. One can have a pause here and take note that if we are having, say, 5 by 7 grid, then it accommodates all the 35 double-digit numbers of 6 place value system. That means the 36 square value transcends out. It goes out of it. Therefore, when we are transcending from here, from a double-digit numbers, then the transcended out is of a triple-digit number. However, when we will be having a 1000 as a value, it is of a quadruple digits. Therefore, this value cannot be attained by this particular format. Therefore, while Rigved is having 21 branches and Yajurved is having 101 branches, but Samved is restricting itself up till 1000 branches and not at 1001 branches. It is this feature which also deserves to be comprehended well. Now see, beyond the Anant is going to be a phase and stage of a Nav Brahm. This Nav Brahm is the phase and stage which takes us to values 17 and 28. Summation value is going to be 45, and 45 we know is the summation value of 1 to 9 of values 9. Therefore, 1 plus 2 plus so on plus 9 is a 49, is 45. It is this reach. Therefore, we are having a reach at this 9, and we know value 9 is having 8 gaps. This makes it 17. Further, we know that now itself is of value 17. Therefore, the focus here in respect of the Atharvaved is that Atharva is having a TCV value 17, and it is here where 17 is leading us to its dimension 15, which is equal to a Sam. It is here where the reverse orientation is automatically comes into play. It is this feature, it is this value which deserves to be seen, comprehended well, and that is why it will help us appreciate that first three Vedas are taken as Traividya, that means the pure value is Vidya, a Traividya, while the Atharvaved itself. So first three Vedas make a Traividya, while the fourth Veda, Atharvaved, is taking us to the applied values. It is why at some places of enlightenment of the Vedic systems, it is focused as that Vedas are three. There is a Traividya. Why it is said that there are only three Vedas, while in fact there are four Vedas? We have seen that when we reach at the fourth Veda, there happens a reversal orientation. It is this reversal orientation, so that means from fourth Veda we are reaching to the third Veda, a Samved which has a value 15, while Atharva has a value 17. It is this reach back, it is this that the pure values are being reached at afresh as applied values. It is this phenomenon, it is this feature, it is this value which deserves to be comprehended well. We shall make a specific note as to how these formulations of Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samveda, and how the number of branches of 21, 101, 1001, and 9 are have their proper implications. There is a complete message in it, there is a code in it. Now further let us see that we have already observed that here this value of third wave is to supply one additional value. Further we know the Yajur as well is to supply us one extra value. And here is a Rik Ved, so it is a Rik here. So Ka when goes as a Brahma, it will value 4. Therefore, it will also supply us a value 4. Here there will be availability, and when it is a Ka Shiv, it will supply us 4 extra values. Therefore, these 4 extra values plus 1 and 1 extra values will become 6. These extra values, 6 extra values as such, will make 6 extra branches of the Atharvaved. When we want to reach at the applied values parallel to the pure values of a Traividya, then here in these formulations we have seen this has reached straightway here. However, the reach ahead as it is going to be of a steps, that it is to supply us these values, these 6 values. That is why it is said that Atharvaved has 9 branches which unfold themselves as 15 branches. It is this feature which also deserves to be comprehended well. One shall be blissfully face to face with these formulations and values attached with them and the branches attached with them, then it will help us appreciate as to how this organization is an organization of a chase of our solar universe up till its origin, a pole star, and it is to be chased along Panch Mahabhut, and this Panch Mahabhut from Prithvi to Akash, and this Prithvi to Akash as such will help us reach within 6 space along a Sthapatya ring rod, and then this reach will be a reach up till its origin in terms of the transcendent carriers. And it is this value, it is this feature, it is this format which deserves to be appreciated well. One shall sit comfortably, one shall make a complete expression of oneself about the comprehension and imbibing of these values and features. Once we are face to face with this, then let us see that Ved is a formulation which is of value 20. Further we know Vrit, circle, is having a value 20. Still further we know that the circumference Pridhi of a circle as well is having value 20. Therefore, our solar universe is being worked along a first, then it is going to be second supplet, and it is going to be a third supplet. So it is this supplet, it is this chase, it is this reach, it is this format of triple pridhi, which is to be reached at to have a proper appreciation of a Vedvrit. So this Vedvrit we know is having a first reach from Purv to Paschim. It is a value which is along a diameter, which means a Vyas. So when we have to reach and we have to follow and we have to avail the format of a diameter as a Vyas, now this way we are going linearly and we are reaching at value 21 to 1 more than 22, which is equal to hypercube 6 format, and it is this reach, it is this way reach that we have been successful to reach at hypercube 6 format. Now it is this reach which would mean that we have to be face to face with as to how the pridhi, so which is circumference, and we know 2 pi r and pi r square. Now when both are taken simultaneously in a proper logistics way, then it will help us dispense with the pi. It is this phenomenon, it is this feature, it is this value of the Vedic systems which are successful to dispense with the pi. Now this curvature is being tamed as a linear progression. It is this attainment, it is this reach of the Vedic systems that the curvature is being dispensed with. We are taming the curvature as a linear progression. Therefore, it is here where we have to appreciate that how the Vyas, the diameter, is to be worked out. For it, we have to go to the shelter of the Vedic knowledge, and Vedic knowledge preserves for us that the Vyas diameter is to be worked out in terms of its 28 steps. We know Vyas gives us a value 14. We know 14 is equal to 7 plus 1, 7. We know 7 as a sapt is again giving us a value 14, and it takes us to value 28. It is a very gentle step, it is a very sequential step, it is a very delicate step, and it is this working of the Vedic systems that if we can work out, if we can phase out the diameter, means which would mean to phase out the circumference itself into 28 parts. We know that a raised to power 7 gives us 14 b raised to power 6. So there is a self-referral boundary. 6 space as a boundary of a 7 space. Now 6 space as a boundary of a 7 space is leading us to 14 components. It is here where we have to have a pause and we have to see that the surface is not having a one face. It is also having a second face if we are having this circle within a 3 space. Therefore, when we will be approaching a surface, a spatial order within 3 space, then this surface will leading us to a pair of faces. Therefore, this is to be worked out, and it is being worked out by the Vedic systems to reach at value 28. Now, here are 28 formulations. Vedic systems are well preserved. Vishnu Puran as well is preserving. It is also preserved at more than one places that this Vyas as a diameter, as a formulation, is to be sequentially reached at in 28 steps to have a full taming of the circumference. Vedic systems are taming the curvature in terms of as many as 28 steps. So these are quadruple 7 steps setup. Now we see that Vedic systems are working as a Rishi, then it is Raj Rishi, then it is Maharishi, and then it is Brahm Rishi. Therefore, these are 4 phases and stages of Rishi. A Rishi we know is a 4, 6 and 2, means it is a transcendence within a 6 space. So transcendence within a 6 space is going to be had firstly along a creative dimension, then along a dimension of a dimension. Therefore, it is this way we have to reach at. From here, we have to reach at a Raj Rishi. We know Raj Shabd is giving us 10. So Rishi is giving us 12. So from 12, a value of this, we have to reach at value 22. Then Maharishi is having value 21. That means it would be 12 plus 21 is equal to value 33. And then Brahm Rishi is going to be 12 plus 28 is equal to 40. Therefore, 12, 22, 33 and 40 are the values. These are the values which are to be reached at, which are to be worked out. These formats are to be availed provided by this Sthapatya miring rod. How we shall be availing this format for these values available to us, and when we will be having this reach of this format, then we will be having a reach at these 28 formulations, and these formulations are sequentially giving us TCV value. Shvet is going to give us a TCV value 20, and last Krishna Dvaipayan is giving us value 58. 58 we know is 29 plus 29. So it is this interaction of hypercube 14, 20 versions, hypercube 14, 20 versions are synthesizing. So Vedic systems have reached, and Krishna Dvaipayan is the author of the Vedant, Brahma Sutra. The Brahma Sutra is the scripture of 555 mantras, and these 555 mantras and composition author is Krishna Dvaipayan 58, and these all features are at work. But one point to be taken proper attention is that first name is a Shvet. Now Shvet means white. This Shvet is of value 20, and the Krishna, which means black, it is value 19, and value Krishna 19 is the value of the formulation Dhruv. Therefore, the black matter flow is available at the origin. So the origin of 6 space, which is 7 space, and this 7 space is Dhruv, and it is a formulation 19, and this value 19 is a Krishna as a black matter, and we know that Dhruv, which has value 19, but here refer is being attached to value 1, while its actual value is 3, so it will unfold from within value 21. It is this feature how the black matter 19 goes 21. So 21 as a domain, 19 as a dimension is the process how the black matter at the origin of 6 space, at the origin of a Surya. So Sun is having a black matter, a dhruv as origin, at its origin, and it unfolds as 21 and it takes us to Swed. So here it is beautifully to be seen that the value 19 is parallel to 19 gaps of a range of 20 points, and likewise these 20 points has the gaps of 21 points. It is this reach that when we are having say 21 points, we will get 20 gaps. When we will be having 20 lines, a components will be having 19 gaps. It is this feature, it is this scintillating, it is this process, it is this unfolding way of the black matter. Now this black matter unfolds and provides and avails the format of a Sthapatya miring rod. Along this format, we know that among these 21 points, the gaps are going to be 20. Now 20 we know is equal to wave, 20 we know is equal to vrit, 20 we know is equal to pridhi, and 20 also we know is equal to dev. It is this formulations from Ved to Dev in a opposite orientation without any disturbance and without any change, and that means the mirror as well is dispensed with. The reversal of orientation phenomenon as well is dispensed with. It is this feature, it is this value, it is this format of the Vedic systems which deserves to be comprehended well. One shall sit comfortably, one shall permit the transcending mind to be face to face with all these features of the Vedic systems which are well preserved in the formulations Rigved, Yajurved, Samved and Atharved, which is also well preserved in the values of 21 branches, 101 branches, 1000 branches and 9 branches, unfolding as 15 branches. It is further well preserved in the 5 Panch Mahabhut, 5 basic elements, Prithvi, Vayu, Agni, Prithvi, Apa, Agni, Vayu, Akash, leading to Surya, leading to Dhruv. It also well preserves the phenomenon of the formulations of 28 transcendental designations, transcendental names of Vyas. These 28 formulations as such will help us provide the proper processing steps in terms of which the chase for the 6-space content flow, the format for the 6-space content with 7 space as an origin is having a flow along a Sthapatya miring rod. With these introductory features, these introductory values, we will be chasing them further as to how A raised to power 17, A raised to power 7 equals 14, B raised to power 6, and how there are 14 manus, how the day time is one kalp of a Brahma and night time as well of the kalp is also equal to the daytime, and this is equal to 1000 Chatur Yuga. It is also equal to 1000 Chatur Yuga, and like that we will be reaching at the phenomenon, then we will be availing a grid format of 6 cross 6, we will be reaching at 5 cross 7, and then also we will be availing the dimensional synthesis of self-referral order. And it is all this which is being said now today simply as an introductory. We know that these are a very long array of features. We know it is a very big spectrum of values. We know, but our urge is to be parallel to the Vedas. Our urge is to be parallel to the Vedic system. Our urge is that we shall work out the Vedic mathematics, Vedic sciences and Vedic technology. Our urge is that we shall be parallel to the values of the existence phenomenon of our solar universe. Our urge is that we shall be face to face with our existence within our bodies. These all, as such, naturally makes us that we shall sit comfortably, we shall meditate, and we shall revisit all these features which have been introduced today, and these are introductory values and features. However, these will become the base, and it is upon this base that in the coming lessons we shall be having initiation and exposure for the 6-phase content flow along the miring rod. Thank you very much.